Hi, today we're going to review Micro Monthlies number 17, Cloaks and Orbs. This Micro Monthly includes two new kinds of items for Along the Leylines, Cloaks obviously, and Orbs obviously. Let's take a closer look. All right, today we're going to be looking at Micro Monthlies number 17. This was released in January 2026, the first issue of the year, and it's Cloaks and Orbs. This issue includes a short adventure with a wizard, a sage named Mistiphus, and he's got this tower. Mistiphus figured out how to make cloaks and orbs, these two new kinds of items, and then he suddenly disappeared, and he's left his tower, and there's just a bunch of these random cloaks floating around his tower, and nobody knows where he is. So now a bunch of mages are coming to the tower to try to find it. And so players have this hook. They can try to go to the tower and get these two new magic items. Okay, jumping in at the beginning, we've got the adventure hook, which describes this character. He's been kicked out in this adventure. He tried to go find it and he can't. And so he's going to give the players some information. Claudius here is going to give them some information if they will help him get healed by paying some gold or using some kind of healing magic onto him, because, well, he's really badly hurt, and so he'll tell them stuff about the tower. And then if the players decide to go, there's these random encounters at the beginning. Every single adventure in a Micro Monthly has these random encounters at the start. So as they're going, you can roll on here. So you might get 9, and if you do, they'll find a cloak in the middle of the path and it's covered in blood. Or maybe they roll a 2 and then a cloak floats in the middle of the road and there are 4 piles of ashes around it. And so this hints at them. And if we go, we can see it's on animate flame cloak, and we go to page 8 to find more about that. So as they're going, all of these things relate to the adventure. So you don't have to come up with that on the fly. You're kind of given things that tie into the adventure and what they might see on the way. Then once they get there, the next couple of pages outline the tower. And so his tower's got something on the entrance. There is a little riddle here at the beginning to get into it. There is a sewing room at the first floor. There's a librarian. Then there's gonna be a glasswork area, orb, hall, and then Mistiphus's room. And so there's our 5 little bitty rooms here that just all go straight up one after each other. And now the players could try to go from the outside if you wanted to, let them fly into like the 2nd floor or 3rd, 4th story and skip one of these rooms, or just run past it if you want to. But they are all described in here. And so on the 2nd floor, the librarian, they have a chance of finding different tomes. Okay, on the 1st floor, we've got animate cloaks floating around, and they can learn a little bit more, and they can find magic blankets or ever-length rope. So they've got other things that are of interest on each floor. On the 3rd floor, it's gonna have a glasswork area, and they can maybe craft one of these magic orbs. It's pretty hard to do, target set of 7, but if they do, then they'll be able to have one of these magic orbs that they created themselves. On the 4th floor is where Mistiphus has his like best of orbs, and they're all on pedestals, and so the players can try to grab these. But 2 animate cloaks are going to be wandering around in this room, so they're going to have to defeat the cloaks first in order to do that. On the 5th floor, this is Mistiphus's room. So Mistiphus has disappeared, and that's because he's made himself like a little way out, and he's left this chest. And inside the chest, there's tons of stuff. 5d100 gold, an ominous black orb, and there's this grimoire full of every single support complete spell. That's huge, so that's a huge benefit, but they've got to get into it, and it's magically trapped. Anyone besides Mistiphus who tries to open the chest must make a mind save target 8. Now, mind saves for most species start at target at 6, at d6, so you can't roll an 8 on a d6, which means it's almost a near fail for anybody. And there's a reason for this. If you're going to wander into a wizard's tower and try to take his stuff, you got to be prepared for magical traps. And so if they fail, they're going to be bound in heavy ropes and teleported outside the tower. And then they're going to plummet 15 meters down and suffer 5d6 fall damage. This is a death sentence for most characters, right? Because they're bound in heavy ropes, they can't fly away, so any sort of flying character is not going to work. Now, you might still give Cat can, they have fall reflex. You might still give them their fall damage, having it, but it's still a lot of damage. So maybe a catkin survives, but nearly everybody else is going down if they fail this mind save, and nearly everybody's going to fail it. So you should let the players know going into this room, like it's a wizard's chest, it's wizard, so it's probably, trapped. Kind of give some sort of hints so that players don't feel blindsided. Although, obviously, if they're coming into this tower, they should know and be wary of a wizard's tower. Now, it's not just the tower that's going to be going on here. We've got other stuff in the world. We've got these animate cloaks that are wandering around the tower, and these animate cloaks are going to guard their home. Now, they're going to be pretty passive in what they do. The full stat block is on page 8. But not only are there going to be cloaks, there's also going to be rival mages. And for rival mages, you can simply use the sage, and it gives you some instructions on how to make one. I didn't have room in this micro monthly to include a bunch of different examples, but I did give you a list of names that you can use, like Ilstar, Willstar, or Morningstar Brighter, or One the Only, or Ophi the Shifter, or Destiny the True, or Preordania, or Jacob Jubilee. There's lots of different kind of names that you can use for these mages. Pick which one sounds right, and if you're ever at a loss, just go with the classic Ronald. All right, the animate cloak has 18 mind and 18 HP. And so they're pretty even depending on how you want to destroy them on each side. But they're also very, very passive. They're just going to be flying around protecting their home. Now, if they're not enemies, if the PCs are coming without ill will, ill intent, they don't want to steal, they just want to kind of figure out what's been going on and why Mistophis is gone where he is, then the animate cloaks are pretty much going to leave them alone. Even if they want to use the glasswork area to build something, they're probably not going to bother them for that. Now, if they try to take his orbs or take some cloaks or leave with things or mess with his stuff, then the animate cloaks are going to see them as enemies. And as soon as they get close, one of these things are going to be activated. So each of the animate cloaks have a different special ability on them that will match one of these for the magic cloaks. Maybe they are a flame cloak, and if they are, when the enemy gets close, they are set ablaze. Or if they're a mud cloak, the enemy is bemired, which makes them resistant to lightning damage, but vulnerable to earth damage. And so maybe they're choked by this choke cloak and become muted so they can't talk to each other. Or maybe they are a duplicate cloak and they're really hard to be hit. And so each of the cloaks will have one of these things. And so I put it on the next page to make it easy to reference. And they also are going to smother. If somebody tries to attack them, they're going to use this smother as a reaction. And this is what it says. When a character makes a melee attack against the cloak attempts to grapple them and cover their face. Characters must dodge the attack or be grappled and blinded. At the top of the round, grappled characters must make a body save against the cloak's environmental skill, which is a D8, or their body save drops. Okay, this is really important here. They are going to be doing this. This is their biggest thing, and they could totally take out characters who try to attack them. That's how the cloaks should be, right? They should be always reactive, always defensive. They have this little slap ability, but really they're just going to be ambling around until the player characters start attacking them. And then it's going to be like, oh no, that was a bad idea, right? And that's what I want the players to feel like when they go into these rooms and they start attacking these cloaks. Like, let's just take them out, and then that's suddenly a really bad idea. Just sort of wandering, tiptoeing around the tower is a much better and much safer idea. Now, along with the animate cloaks, remember, we still have these rival mages. Now, the rival mages are going to trigger the animate cloaks because they are there to loot and plunder. They're not there just to find out what's been happening to Mistophis. They're there to seek power. And so you could have the players just wait for the rival mages to come in, take out of the cloaks, or be taken out by the cloaks, and then clean up the mess. And that would be sort of a wise thing that players could do. All right, on the next page here, page 10, we've got all these orbs. Now, orbs are cool because they are high risk, high reward proposition. If characters look into the orbs, they have to make a mind save, and if they succeed, then they gain some kind of benefit. And some of the benefits are really, really good, like this Orb of Secrets.
They have to make a mind save target 6, but if they succeed, they gain a secret. So secrets are these super powerful meta currencies in Along the Leyline that they can change the entire world, right? So if they want to, they can cash in and use a secret to change some sort of lore about the world. And when they do that, the referee has to sort of adjust what they're doing to that. So secrets are incredibly powerful, but it comes at a mind save of target 6. So remember what I said earlier, most species start with a D6 for their mind save, so that means they have to make a 6, and then reaching the target, they're going to have time slow down, and they're going to have to roll off on a D20. So it's like for most characters, it's a double whammy. They have to hit 2 things in order to succeed here, but if they do, they get a really powerful benefit. And that's why, it's 300 gold. Now this other one, Orb of Riches, isn't as great as it sounds because you have to make a mind save target 4, and if you do, you gain 1d10 gold, and it doesn't count toward experience. But because it can make gold in world, it would make sense that people would want that, and so it would be 400. That's why that one's so expensive. Even though mechanically in the game, it's really not the best, it just makes sense for world building for that to be. Orb of the Path is still a very useful one, although it's not very expensive. They make a mind save target 2, and then the next time they make a navigation check, they automatically succeed. So super helpful to someone who doesn't know where they're going. They could sort of carry around this orb and always make sure that they end up on the right path. Now, orbs are kind of designed where they stay at the base, stay at home base, stay at the fort, stay at the estate, and be used before an adventure, but characters could carry them around if they wanted to. At the very end, we've got this random loot in the tower, which links us back to our orbs, some spell focuses and other things, and our cloaks. So this is our Micro Monthly number 17, Cloaks and Orbs, a little adventure, and 2 new types of magic items.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you use some of the cloaks and orbs in this Micro Monthly. If you do, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to my Substack to get all of these in your inbox. I produce 1 new Micro Monthly every single month, so sign up, they're free. You can find a link to them in the description below. I hope all of your games are full of fun and fellowship.